So are there any other bits of advice that you have?
Larry, the best thing people can do to protect their homes for themselves, for the long term, and also avoid the delays and costs associated with either probate or administration is trust planning, either through a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust.
People always think the wealthy people write trusts. Again, as a financial advisor, I mentioned, I heard that all the time. I only have $800,000. I don't need a trust. I only have $200,000. Who is a trust for, and what are the benefits of a trust?
So I think it's a complete fallacy that trusts are only for rich people.
I agree.
But of course, I'm a trust and estates attorney, so I'm a little biased.
I'm not a trust and estates attorney, and I agree
and
with
you.
you.
Agree with me,
yes.
But that doesn't happen very often
yes.
that people agree with me, so I appreciate that. Revocable trusts are terrific vehicles for probate avoidance.
Right.
Number one. So we've been talking about the delays associated with probate. Transfer your house into trust, and it passes relatively quickly upon your death. God forbid I put my house in trust and I die. My successor trustee can sign a deed to the house within 30 days. There really is no time limit on how quickly a successor trustee can sell that house to a buyer. And the key there is the delays associated with settling an estate cost beneficiaries money because that asset needs to be maintained after the person died.
Right.
We all know what taxes cost on Long Island.
Yes.
Utilities, just basic lawn repairs.
Yep.
And that all adds up very quickly. And then if you're in Manhattan, you have co-op fees and late fees, and it becomes a real waste of money. So trust planning allows you to bypass that.
Yep.
And it saves a lot of money for the beneficiaries. And you've been talking about your company and how you buy quickly.
Right.
This allows people to sell out of a trust pretty quickly.
Right.
And get their money.
We mentioned earlier about a step up in basis, meaning that they sell the house at the higher valuation, the valuation at the date of death or 9 months later. Putting a house in a trust, does that change that, or they still maintain the step up?
A revocable trust maintains the step up in basis.
So they get the best of both worlds. They avoid the probate. They can sell the house quickly. They can sell it relatively hassle-free, and they still get to keep the step up in basis.
100%.
It sounds like a no-brainer. What is the downside to writing a trust? There's the cost of writing a trust.
Right. From my perspective, there's no downside. It's
Right.
the expense associated with creating the trust. So obviously there are the legal fees involved. In Nassau and Suffolk, in every county, you would have to record a deed transferring your property into trust.
Right.
So in Suffolk and Nassau, the recording charges are a little bit higher, but it's a one-time cost.
Right.
And the analogy I make all the time is anything you do relative to estate planning, it's really the best insurance policy you could ever buy.